Broncos country, do we have a problem brewing this week against the New York Giants when they come to visit us here in Denver? Man, oh man, let me tell you what, this Giants defense is legit. And if the Broncos offense is not going to be on their P's and Q's, and they're going to continue doing all the inconsistency and making the same dumb mistakes that they have been so far this season, it can be really, really ugly offensively this week against the New York Giants. So we'll break down why that is, but ultimately why I'm very optimistic about the way that we're going to perform this week. But man, this Giants defense, guys, the New York Giants, I think, are the only team in the NFL that you can compare their pass rushers with those of the Denver Broncos, right? Especially from a depth standpoint. Now, I'll obviously say the Broncos are still superior and they have the stats and all that to back it up. But the Giants, man, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter is a legitimate trio of pass rushers. And Abdul Carter is still a rookie, the number 2 overall pick in this year's draft. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a big problem for us. Now, the good news is that our strength on the offensive line right now is our tackles, right? In Garrett Bowles and in Mike McGlinchey. But we are basically down to our 4th string left guard. And there is a man in the middle who is an all-pro caliber player in Dexter Lawrence, 6'4", 342 pounds, and he's a menace. And he's the guy that could really blow up this game for the Broncos. I don't know if it's going to be Calvin Throckmorton or Alex Palczewski or really who it's going to be at left guard, but it is going to be imperative that the interior of this offensive line holds up because they got guys everywhere, and the Broncos are going to have a lot of one-on-one matchups, very similarly to how a lot of offenses going up against our defense have. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. The biggest key for the Broncos in this game is they have to establish a run. That is where the Giants have shown vulnerabilities in the run game and also in the secondary. But if you're not able to protect your quarterback and give him ample time, there's not going to be a lot of room there. So this is going to be a hell of a matchup for this Denver Broncos team, man. I think the Giants are legit. Now, on the flip side, and before I actually get into the flip side of things, I'll tell you guys, Broncos and Giants have a lot of similarities. They're very similar teams in terms of the way that they're built, in terms of kind of where they at in terms of going from a very bad team to moving up. Now, obviously, the Giants are a lot earlier on in that process, but you're talking about a young rookie quarterback in the Giants that gave a little bit of spark to this team, right? He's got a defense that's playing well. He's out there just playing street ball and making plays. Well, there you go. That was kind of what Bo Nix did a little bit last year, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see what this game ultimately looks like and who ends up winning it. But yeah, Abdul Carter right now has a 15% pass rush win rate. That's pretty damn good. Or pressure to sack or whatever it might be. But he's right up there. He's just under where Nick Benito's at. So this team is very, very much legit. But here's why I feel very optimistic about the way why I think the Broncos offense is actually going to have a get right game. And it's not just because it's like, oh, they usually bounce back well after poor performances. I'm going to get more of an analytical view of this. The New York Giants play man coverage the 3rd most of any team in the entire NFL. In fact, more than the Broncos, who are 4th, which is pretty damn crazy because anybody that knows this Broncos defense, we love to play some man until we get into the red zone, of course. This Giants team is very much a man coverage team. And if there's one thing I'm confident in is Bo Nix's ability to beat man coverage. He has excelled against man coverage since the beginning, and he struggled the most against zone, which I think he's getting better at. He's shown that the last few weeks, but in man, he's done a very, very good job. Now, it doesn't mean that the Giants are going to come out and play man as much as they have all season against us because it's a game plan. They know that zone is what's given us a lot of fits, but I will say if they do, I like the way that matches up, specifically with 2 guys. Evan Ingram and Troy Franklin are the 2 guys on this offense that I think are absolute man killers. Troy Franklin has proven, and you go look at the advanced analytics of Troy Franklin, he is very legit at winning against man coverage and gaining separation in man. So I would expect for him to have a big game, and Evan Ingram as well, especially across the middles. And the Giants defense does have some vulnerabilities in the safety and linebacker position, and those are the 2 positions that I expect will be covering Evan Ingram. So I do like that piece a lot. And if the Broncos O-line, even if we have to go out there max protect, just run 2 or 3 man routes, I think we're going to be able to find some openings against this defense. But obviously, listen, they could come out and play a lot of zone. I don't know how good they are at playing zone, right? They're the 30th most. So like they're second to last when it comes to the amount of zone that they play. So it could be one of those where if they're not practicing it, they don't play it a lot, maybe they're not as good at it, but we will see. We will see. But that is one reason why I think this is a very good get right game. Another one is that the Giants, if I read this correctly, so don't quote me, I think they allow about 5.1 yards per carry from a run defensive standpoint. So no doubt about it, the Broncos will have their opportunities to establish a run game. And that's going to be very helpful, obviously. We need to get back on track with the way that we're running the football. J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, they need to have big games. If they can, this offense is really, I think, going to have a very, very good day against this Giants offense. Also, if the Giants are going to come out there and play zone as much as they have been, it's going to be a lot of running lanes open for Bo to take off and win with his legs. So that's going to be very important. So we will see. We'll see how it ultimately ends up playing out. But again, really love the way that this matchup is going to work out for us. I think it's going to be a really fun, entertaining type of a game. Excited that we're back home, and definitely looking forward to seeing how this offense bounces back. And I want to see consistency. I want to see the annoying, frustrating, beat yourself up plays. I want to see those eliminated. I think this is a really good week to do that. But nonetheless, Giants are a very good team. And the fact that it's a 7-point spread is pretty crazy, to be honest with you, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think below, man. What are you nervous about? What are you optimistic about? Let me know in the comments. And catch me tonight, guys. I'll be on the Sports Podium. I'm going to put the link down below. 7 p.m. I'll be on the Sports Podium YouTube channel. They are a Giants channel. We're going to be talking Broncos Giants. So very excited to join them and be a guest on their show. So I'll put the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe to their channel. Follow on all the socials. Show them some love. They're very, very great people over there. All right, y'all. Appreciate you. Till the next one. Go Broncos. Peace.